Hey guys, I got something cool to review today, and this is going to be perfect for you guys who like bird watching, hunting predators at night, and all that kind of stuff. So what we got here is the Find NV200. So the Find NV200 is a night vision daytime digital binoculars. So you can record daytime and nighttime, and you have a 20x digital zoom with interchangeable lenses. Really cool. So first what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys the box. We're going to unbox it. We're going to do field testing. I'll show you guys the ballistic calculator. I'll show you guys all that kind of stuff to give you guys a good idea of what you're going to get. So yeah, I'll show you guys the box real quick because I like boxes. So here we got the front. It shows a flower with, I guess, the night vision mode, basically hinting at what it is. It does record 4K 120 FPS. It's got some specs here, right here. I guess this is the resolution with the power and stuff. And then, actually these are the specs, but this stuff on the side is the features. So flip you guys around and we'll unbox it. Now, I did open this box before, so some of the wrapping will be gone and some things might not be placed in the same orientation you would if you got it. So I have been testing it. So unlatch that and lift it up. So you have your manual, warranty. They give you a 2-year warranty, and that's some very generous stuff considering this is all electronic. Lens cloth, some warnings, and I think this is your user manual. We'll give this manual a quick look. So, oh, this is how you install the lens. So the actual manual is right here. So this is your manual, and they give you pictures, very nice of them, to give you a bunch of pictures and all that. So yeah, so foam, protectant, shipping, and I'm sliding it all under here because the wind's blowing. So this is what you got here, and the night vision, or the binoculars itself, will be wrapped up in plastic and so on. What this is actually an external battery mount. So you would mount this to the tripod mount on the bottom, and you can carry around a battery and charge it for extra life. And it does come with 3 rechargeable 18650 batteries. So pretty affordable batteries, and they last a really long time. So here, right here, is the rangefinder. The rangefinder is optional, so if you don't want the rangefinder, you don't have to get it. I recommend getting it if you're a hunter and you really want to reach out there and use the ballistic calculator. This right here is your goodie bag. It has extra spare O-rings and the Allen or the screws to mount the rangefinder. You also have a USB-C charger. USB-C, such a great thing. I'm so glad people switched to it. I'm tired of the micro USB. It's getting old. Here you have not a lanyard. I don't know what you call this, but you can put this on there and you put it around your neck, and you can have your binoculars hanging from your chest and ready to use them. And the foam padding is really nice. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some nice texturing, and it's like this very soft foam. So they put a lot of thought into it. It's not just a regular strap. It actually has good foam and cushioning. Here's their bag. So if you want to store it, you put it in this little felt bag, and it has their logo on it right there. So really generous of them to give you bags, and they give you this with every one of their products. Here is an optional lens. So here is the 70mm lens. They have a 35, 50, and 70mm. I got the 70mm and the 50mm lens, and this is optional. You can choose 1 lens, 2 lenses, or 3 lenses. All right, let's get the unit itself out. This is what it looks like out of the box, and you right here got these comfortable wrist thingies, knuckle things, I don't know what you would call them, but yeah, here's the button interface. The buttons are very simple, and we'll get to all that and what it does. Alright, so that's the unboxing, and this is what the night vision binoculars look like. Alright, first, before we get everything started, I'm going to show you guys how to get everything working. I'll tell you the specs afterward. So, first thing you're going to want to do see these screws right here. So all the batteries are already put inside of the binoculars. So you're going to, right here, these wing nut looking things. Nah, they're not wing nuts. I don't know what they are. But you just unscrew these, and they do not come out, just so you know. So they sit there permanently, so there's easy access. You're not gonna pop out on you or anything. Here, right here, this holds the first battery. And what you're gonna see is when you open it, these little tabs right here are gonna be stuck in there, keeping the battery from operating during shipment. So basically, pull those tabs out and the machine will start, and the binoculars will start working. And you need to do this with both of the sides. So the next side, over here on this side, it actually has 2 batteries. So you do the same thing, just unscrew these. All right, the other side has 2 batteries, and the same process. This thing will be stuck in there, and pull them out, and bang, screw it back on there, and you're operational. All right, I'll show you guys how to mount the rangefinder. So pull your rangefinder out, grab the medium-sized Allen key and reach in there and grab one of these screws. So grab the screw and grab your medium-sized Allen key. Then what you're gonna want to do right here in between the flashlight and lens, or the IR light and lens, first you just want to slide that in there, get it ready, and then slide them in between there, right there. And there is a nut right there, and you just stick your Allen key in there and tighten it. You don't have to go too tight, just once it starts getting resistance, snug it up, and that's good. Now you have everything mounted, it'll auto detect that the rangefinder's on there, and it'll work. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how to change the lenses. So this is your lens tab right here, basically how you do it. First, to change the lenses, unscrew this cap. I already have it unscrewed. Basically what this does is it limits how much light is allowed to go into the sensor, since the sensor is pretty sensitive. So basically what you're gonna wanna do, pull this tab down and just start twisting. Once you hear a pop, the lens comes right out. Then you grab your other lens, put in like that, align it till it kind of drops down, push and twist. Once it locks, it'll tell you that this tab locked. So that is how to change your lenses. And obviously if you're shooting, or if you're out in the daytime, you want to screw this cap back on. And yeah, so that's how you change the lenses. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to set up the ballistic calculator. So you're going to go to menu and you're going to scroll down to ballistic parameters. Basically what you're going to do is it has MOA. You can switch between MOA and mil. You have ballistic groups, so you can have different profiles. So if you have different guns, you can have 3 different profiles for your guns. Ballistic coefficients. So it tells you everything you need to know about your ballistic coefficients. What I recommend doing is learning to tune your ballistic coefficients. Normally, when you have a recommended ballistic coefficients, it's not going to actually be the same as what it says on the box. So I'll put a video in the description on how to tune your ballistic calculator. The ballistic model is really important. Basically, G1 is best for airgun slugs, G7 is best for pellets. So G1 I believe you use for 22s and such, and normally you can find all that information online. The bullet weight, normally on your box or pellet tin it'll tell you the bullet weight. If not, look up the name and you'll find it online. And it's really easy, or just use the scroll wheel and type it in. You can also use the IR button and picture-in-picture mode to increase it in bigger values. Initial velocity. You will need a chronograph to do this if you're using airgun ammo. If you're using 22 or any other rimfire, centerfire, normally you'll find it on the box and it'll get you a pretty good idea of how fast your gun's shooting. With airguns, if you use a ballistic calculator, I recommend getting a chronograph. So you would just type in that. So this is small values for up and down, and IR and picture-in-picture bigger values. The zero range, however far you zeroed your gun, you would type that in. I zeroed mine at 50 yards. The sight height, you get a measuring tape and you measure basically the center of your scope from the center of your bore and mine was 2 inches and 0.15. The windage, if you have wind velocity outside, you would type that in, and basically that's your windage. The altitude, it pretty much matters. Where I live, I'm 262 feet from sea level. The temperature outside, go on your weather app and just type in the temperature. And that's basically how you set it up. And if you want to set up more, again, go to Ballistic Group and you can switch between the two. A, I have for the Nodos. B, I have for my AEA Challenger Pro. So that is how you set up the ballistic calculator. It's pretty simple, and most of the stuff you find in here is online. So to align the rangefinder, you would go in a dark room and turn on night vision mode. So you would go to range marker align, you would press OK, and basically in the dark room you would move this thing by pressing the little arrows on it and move it over towards the range, or move it over towards the little beam of light. I already have mine set up, so I don't need to do that. Alright, first we're going to go over the specs, and then we'll do field testing. So just going to give you guys a quick overview of the specs, the main features, and all that. So the main features is it has a high definition Sony Starburst sensor, meaning you can get 4K footage at 120 FPS. So you can get 4K 30, 4K 60, and 4K 160. It has a built-in 8-watt IR light. So right here, this is the illuminator. It looks like an extra lens, but it's not. It's actually an illuminator. It has a viewing range of 6,567 yards in the daytime. I don't know where in the world that they have 6,000 yards of land or something, but that's a really far way. Like, I got some woods that go back. I think you guys can see the tree line right there, and that is about 500, 600 yards, somewhere around there. And this thing sees it really well. And I don't know if you can see the house right there, but in the field testing, I'm going to zoom in on that house, and I'm going to show you guys how clear this thing is at 560 yards. Like I showed you how to install the lenses in the beginning, it does have swappable lenses. So if you have a DSLR, you should be familiar with swapping lenses. It has a laser rangefinder right here, like I showed you how to install. What a laser rangefinder does, it sends out a little laser, it bounces off and comes back and it hits this right here, and basically it calculates how long it took for the laser to bounce back and hit it, and then giving you the yardage. So you can get accurate yardage readings up to 1,093 yards. So if you guys like long range shooting to 1,000 yards, you're going to be set. Here's the icing on the cake too. It has a ballistic calculator. The ballistic calculator, once it receives the yardage, it basically tells you, once you put in all your ballistic information from your gun, ammo, and such, it will calculate everything in here for you and say, you need to hold at 100 yards, you need to hold 6 mil dots for whatever gun you're using. You need to dial 6 MOA. So it gives you like a little chart of all the MOAs and stuff, and if you type in your windage too, it'll give you windage as well. So you can be set for long range shooting. You don't have to have your phone for a ballistic calculator, a rangefinder, and binoculars. It's an all-in-one thing right here. It also has a 26 times zoom. On top of whatever lens you have a 20x digital zoom. You might think 20x digital zoom, it's gonna look like grainy turd or whatever. But actually, I have a house out there, we're gonna do some field testing at 560 yards, and it does not look bad at all. You can see the white lines on the brick. It's insane. It also has an IPX6 waterproof rating, so you're not gonna have to worry about standing out in the woods when it's raining. It will be just fine. As long as you don't submerge it in water, you should be good. It has 3 18650 rechargeable batteries to provide up to 12 hours of battery life. I've been using this for the past 3 days, I believe, and it's only dropped a battery percentage by a little bit. Now, depending on what IR illumination you have on there, IR illuminators do take up a lot of battery, so that's why they included that battery mount thing, so you would just mount it to the bottom and have your extra battery, so you can probably run it all night if you're hog hunting. And yeah, it can also be connected to a tripod for extra stability, so I'll show you guys that in a second. connect it to the tripod, and you can just pan around like that, and you just look through it just like that. And yeah, I've used it a lot, and it's so much better than scanning with your arms, because especially when you get down to that high 20x zoom, it really brings out that shakiness. So having a tripod is a really big deal. And it has a 2-year warranty with lifetime upgrade service. So they have upgraded over 2 years. They have done 11 updates. So that really shows you that they're very loyal to their products, and you're not going to get some outdated junk. So basically, when this first came out, it didn't have a ballistic calculator, and when they did an update, and you can have a ballistic calculator here. So that shows that they're willing to bring pretty big updates. It also has a picture-in-picture mode, so if you're zoomed in 20x, but you just need to focus on something particular, you can go in picture-in-picture mode. It shows up a little box, and it zooms it in even further. So I thought that was really cool, and we'll show you guys that in a second. So now let's go on to the field testing. All right, I'm gonna show you guys what the clarity looks like. We're gonna go from daytime footage to nighttime footage, and I'll tell you guys what lenses I'm using and such. And yeah, so you guys can get a good idea of what the clarity is. And we'll even do I videoed some power lines past 1,000 yards at night and daytime, and things within 600, 200 yards, and I recorded something about 30 yards at nighttime too, so you guys can get a good idea of what the clarity looks like at nighttime, daytime, and with the different lenses. So here's those clips. Alright, we have a house at 567 yards, and we're going to gradually zoom in. This is the 70mm lens, and then I'll show you the 50. So we're just going to gradually zoom in and show you guys basically the magnification. So as you can see, you can practically see in that window. The house is not occupied, so it's fine. But yeah, you can really see the vinyl and everything. You can see details, like if there was a fox, if there was like a fox out there, you could totally tell that. This is the 50mm lens with the same test, 556 yards, and we're going to slowly zoom in with the digital zoom. So as we zoom in, you can start to see it is actually a little bit harder to see the bricks and a little bit harder to see the vinyl, being it doesn't have as much magnification as the 70mm lens does. It's not horrible, but as you can see, it still looks pretty decent. The tree line in front of us is actually so far away, the rangefinder is not even picking it up. But I do see a dove. So we'll zoom in on him. I'm assuming this has got to be over 1,000 yards. This is with the 50mm lens. And that does look to be a dove. We'll try the 70mm lens now. Alright, this is the 70mm lens, and we're going to zoom in on the same power line at an unknown distance because I maxed out the rangefinder. That does look like a little bit, but we'll slowly zoom in. Here is a crow at 500 yards with a 12 power magnification, and he's just gonna fly off. And yeah, that zooms in a lot, and it looks like he's having a lot of trouble with this wind. Alright, let's see if we can zoom in to 20 power on this guy. 70mm lens. So about This, he must have backed up about 50 more yards. He's about 550 yards away. There he goes. Here are some crows at 400 yards. And we're just going to slowly start zooming in, and this is the 50mm lens. Oh man, they always fly! Well, there he goes. "100 yards, 12 power zoom, 70mm lens," and that is a little butcher bird right here. He's just sitting up there at 100 yards. We'll zoom it up to 20 power. You can really see him. Oh, up close and personal with the little birdie. This is what the irrigation system looks like at 90 yards, and this is the irrigation system with the 70mm lens, illumination all the way up. So as you can see, if there was a coyote, you would definitely be able to tell, and yeah, it really sees that irrigation system really well. This is what the smaller lens looks like at 100 yards illumination. Our 50mm lens, illumination at 8 power, so turn up all the way, and that's what it looks like at 100 yards. So you can still see it a lot. It is a little bit more flushed out, but turning the IR down should actually help. So that's what that looks like at 100 yards with the smaller lens. This is our chicken coop, which is 27 yards away, and this is a good rat hunting distance. So as you can see, it's super bright, and this is with the 50mm lens all the way up, the illuminator all the way up. Alright, here's the night vision, and right in front of it is a trash bag at 200 yards. So that trash bag is at 200 yards, and this is with the illumination at 8. And we're gonna focus it a bit. So 200 yards, and that's what it looks like with the beam focused. So let's zoom in with the digital zoom. Alright, that is 20 times zoom at that trash bag at 200 yards. As you can see, it does bring out the imperfections of digital zoom, but it still looks pretty darn good. That right there is a trailer at 400 yards, and this is with the 70mm lens, and obviously it's pitch black outside. And this tree line is 600 yards away, and if there were something out there, you could definitely tell. We're just gonna scan around the woods and see if we can see anything. That's what the trail looks like 416 yards away with the 50mm lens. This is 226 yards at this tree line, and that's what this looks like. And this trash bag right here, we're going to zoom in on that. And if that were to be an animal, you could tell, you can really see it real well. So we're going to slowly start zooming in. that is what the 50mm lens looks like at 200 yards. And the bag looks like it's flopping. I think it is flopping. Okay. This is the 70mm lens at 340 something yards. And there's a couple of deer out here just chilling. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 deer just chilling out. Let's see if we can put a laser on them and see what they do. I don't know if they would really care, but that's them right there. That's what deer look like that far away, and we can see if we can zoom in on them. There we go. You can really get a good look at them. So that's what a couple of deer look like. So this is what the ballistic calculator will look like. So you'll press the turn on button, or you'll press the power button once, and it'll pop up this little card telling you the range, what MOA you're supposed to go to. So if I were to shoot 430 yards with my air rifle, I would have to dial 112 MOA. My gun does not, or my scope does not have that much MOA. But as you can see, it has the windage. I don't have the windage set, so it's not going to give me the windage, but that's the range, elevation, and windage. So that's what the card looks like, and the little box in the middle is basically the indicator. Alright, so this is what picture-in-picture mode looks like. So as you can see, in the middle of the screen we have a crow, and at the top we have a little box that zooms in more on the crow. And I think if I start zooming in, it might bring it out, I don't know. So as we zoom in, the picture-in-picture follows it. Oops, I messed that up. Oh, it doesn't look like a crow. So that's what basically picture-in-picture mode is whatever's in the middle of the screen, it basically zooms it in a lot more with the picture-in-picture, so you can really focus on what's in the middle of your screen. So that's what picture-in-picture does. Alright, what are my thoughts on the NV200? So, I love it. Right off the bat, I love it. Reason being, one of my probably most favorite features is the ballistic calculator. So when oneleaf sent me the NV500, I loved it. Just being able to use the ballistic calculator was so easy. You press a button and it gives you the holdover. But with a traditional scope, I can't do that. I have to use a ballistic calculator on my iPad, and I would have to carry that around, let's say my grandma's farm. It just doesn't work out. It's just so bulky. If I had a phone, it probably wouldn't matter that much. But yeah, I can't use it with a traditional scope. Now, since I have this, I can. It is a little bit big, but with the neck strap, I really don't find me getting annoyed with it. And I've always wanted binoculars too, and got lots of zoom. They look really good, and they're night vision. I also like to rat hunt. So being able to scan around and not have to bring my gun up and scan around like that, it's so much easier to have these. They're so much more convenient just being able to look with these instead of having to pick up my big 15-pound gun or something and look through that to scan around. These are just so much more lightweight and really easy to scan around. Applied with a tripod, it's perfect. I've been out a couple times at night. I haven't seen anything, but being able to just get the tripod and do like this and scan around is just like a blessing. It's amazing. So I really like it a lot. Just being able to do that is so much, is good. The quality of it is insane. It's just undescribable how good it looks. I can also use it if I shoot targets and my scope just doesn't zoom in enough. Just use this. I can use it as like a spotting scope, and I can zoom in and look at my targets and see what groups it's got. Being able to do that is just amazing. And who would I recommend it for? I recommend it for people who want to record their bird watching. So with the traditional binoculars, you can't record through them. There's just no way you can record through them. So if you want to, let's say, bird watch and you want to record your birds that you see, this might be perfect for you. And you don't have to spend $500 to have the rangefinder and the extra lenses. This by itself, I believe, comes around $300. And for 4K footage, for like 50 yard, even 100 yard bird watching, is just perfect. I mean, honestly, you can get traditional binoculars, and if you don't feel like recording with them, then you're probably better off with normal binoculars. If you really want to record what kind of birds you see, really great option. It's also really good for you guys who hog hunt or coyote hunt, any type of predator hunting. You just have this next to you with a tripod and you can just scan around, and you can get like a double set of eyes kind of thing. So you have your scope cam and you have this other camera recording it, and it's great. And you can zoom in real far and spot what you're looking at and such. It's probably great for looking around a barn. Like, you don't have to carry your gun around in this awkward little small space. You just have this, and you're able to look around in a barn without whacking your gun against something trying to scan the barn. So it has many other features that I'm going to really enjoy, and I really enjoy it. If I had to say what lens I would recommend if you're gonna reach out far, get the bigger 70mm lens. If you're just short range bird watching in your backyard, the 35 or the 50mm lens might work better for you. It's all personal preference and such, but I hope these examples of what I showed in the video will help you guys out. So something that I would like to see is maybe like an auto lens detection, because you do have to go in and manually, if you switch the lens, you have to go in and put what lens you had. I kind of wish that they had that, but I only had that issue because I was switching, trying to get testing and stuff. So it was kind of annoying having to switch between the lens detections. But I think you won't have to deal with that. I don't know why you'd be switching between lenses unless you're trying to make a review. But that's maybe the only thing that I kind of found annoying, but that's it. That's really it. I haven't noticed really anything else. Or the one other thing I would like to see is maybe autofocus. For binoculars, I don't think it's that bad, but for the NV200, I think autofocus would be a lot better. But that's really all that I've noticed. That, yeah, they're just things that are just there that can bring some annoyance, but aren't like a deal breaker. Like, this thing has so many pros, it's kind of insane. But yeah, so that's my review on the NV200. I want to say big thanks to oneleaf for letting me review this. It's a big honor, and I really love oneleaf. Their innovation is insane, and I want to say thank you again, oneleaf. So hope to see you guys in the next video. I have a discount code in the description, so if you want to check that out, you can get the discount code. It's also an affiliate link, so you'll help me out if you buy it. And yeah, so that great appreciation if you do buy it from my link. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to oneleaf again. See you guys in the next one.